The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host and or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of the host and or Paranormal Buzz Radio and or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is prohibited. Paranormal Buzz Radio will not be held responsible for you holding your knees, crying, and rocking in a corner in a puddle of your own urine, or being beheaded by a group of children in a cornfield. In fact, if you come across a group of children in a cornfield, we promise to make fun of you as you run away screaming in terror. Listener discretion is advised.
The Cryptid Files is a weekly discussion and debate covering all things cryptid. We at the Cryptid Files are working to bring you groundbreaking info and interviews from researchers in the field, as well as data and accounts from our own experiences. We are seekers of the mysterious and the unknown. We want to believe. Do you?
What's up, everybody? Sorry about that. I have no idea what happened. All of a sudden we just get kicked off, but you're back with John and Cindy on the Cryptid Files. So we were going, I don't know where we left off, but or what you guys heard. So I'm hoping we can get back chat going again.
We were actually into the abilities and anatomy of the Bigfoot.
Right.
We'll get some people on here, but I want to know a little bit before we go further. I want to know, just an acknowledgement that yes, okay, I've had an experience. It'd be interesting just to, you don't have to put what the experience was, but just to see, have you had an experience with a Sasquatch, a sighting? Do you know someone who has had a sighting? Hi, Matt. I'm sorry. Matt says, hi guys, gonna reshare.
Okay. Okay.
Also, guys, you know what? Share this.
If I lose it, sorry.
Get us out there.
Yeah.
We need. Hi, Judy. Sorry, guys.
If we lose you again, I promise this we'll come back. It's our first show with this.
It's the Pug Wedgies.
Yeah.
They're messing with the equipment.
So let's hopefully. All right, we're still going.
Awesome. Awesome.
Right. Good. Okay.
Thank you for getting back with us,
because
guys.
On our end, if I don't watch my phone, it won't tell me we're terminated. The computer won't tell me we're terminated. All of a sudden, I look over at my phone and it says, this has been terminated. And I have no idea why, but
We're
thank
back.
you. So, the abilities. Mm-hmm. We just went over all that, right?
Right.
Okay.
And we hope you guys, from the mid-tarsal break to the infrasound and,
right.
I mean, how cool is this, though?
I guess it's pretty cool, but...
Well, I mean, you think about it. You honestly think about this big being, because I don't want to call it an animal. You know how I feel about that.
Hominid.
Yeah, I mean, but it's with, like you said, with superpowers.
Right.
So, with cryptid powers. But, you think about running into one of these things. Honestly, people have, but... I've sat and really kind of thought about how massive these things actually are. And it's hard to kind of wrap your mind around actually coming into contact with something that big.
Right.
That's got to throw you for a loop. People say...
Damn those Puck Wedgies, Matt says.
Yeah, right. But people say that it's... You can't... Your mind can't process it. And I can see that.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
So why don't we turn around and get into some of the experiences we've had with Bigfoot?
Okay. Well, at first I'm going to go into what started my passion, my obsession. Okay, okay. I try to avoid that, but my obsession with cryptids, but primarily with the Sasquatch. When I was a kid, very small kid, I lived in a rural area outside of Atlanta, and back then it was extremely rural still. And we lived in a pretty heavily wooded area. Several acres. There was a lot of woods across the road and then behind the house, and the woods were not more than 30-40 yards from my bedroom window, which was on the back corner of the house. And one night we were all sleeping. At that time I my bedroom was across the hall from my grandparents' house. I grew up, with my whole family. And my grandparents' room was right across the hall, so theirs was on the front of the house. One night, while I was sleeping, we were woken up. My sister and I shared a room, and we were woken up by heavy, heavy footfall. It was coming fast, and it was like something running at the house. It was loud. It was it actually ground shaking almost. And whatever this was stopped right at my window. The windows were the old kind of bifold windows that you had to crank to open and close. And there were like several different panes of glass in the window. Whatever this was, it stood there and let out this, and it's hard to explain. And I'm sure that people who have had experiences and who have heard this or been in the woods and heard this, it's like a growl, scream,
trumpeting,
yell sort of thing, all rolled into one. And it's almost like it's different sounds, but it's one sound, and it just comes out of this thing. It literally vibrated the windows. The windows were shaking.
Here's another little fact. The sounds that we're hearing, I know they say they can go up 8 times higher or whatever it is, but I was incorrect on my information. They're actually making 5 more sounds that we can't hear. That's what it was. At once. At one time.
All at one time. And this sound actually hit, and it's like it hit you in the chest, like it vibrated my chest. And I remember even being that small. And it lasted for a good at least 5 seconds. And it woke all of us up. It was completely, we're shocked, we're terrified. And then it stops and runs off into the woods, like toward the back of the house, into the wood line. My grandparents heard it. My grandfather shot up out of the bed, threw on his pants and grabbed his gun and went outside immediately. I couldn't tell you if there was any evidence. I don't think that there were any kind of prints outside the window. I vaguely remember them looking but not finding anything. But this sound, it made, my grandparents called it the wampus monster. That's what they called it. They also said the booger was outside. We weren't allowed to go out, past dark without adults with us, and they were right there because the booger would get you. So, these are all things, but having that one experience, and it kind of set me into looking into things that were just out of the ordinary and strange. And so that kind of fueled my pursuit of all this stuff. But it didn't hit me, oddly enough, until years later as an adult. Hey, I think I know what this was. Even though this entire time I believe in Sasquatch and I believe in these things, or believe that something is there, and I hear this, it didn't click for me until I was an adult, which is really odd thinking back on it, but that's just the way it is. It didn't click. But for me, that was my experience that made me want to learn more and made me want to have an experience. I'm not in it or doing it to prove anything to anybody else, to prove these things are real. I'm in this to have that experience. I want to have an encounter. That's just that it's in me to want to do this. I don't know why, but it is. And it's something that I've wanted to do for a very long time. Since I was a kid. So that is what happened that led me into this. And I kind of yanked John right into it with me.
Didn't even ask. She said, come on, let's go. This comes with the package. So I said,
I think when we first, he didn't know this about me. We were friends at first. There was something he didn't know about me. And then I kind of,
like the other thing should have scared me first.
Right. But it didn't.
It didn't.
I think that he was more afraid of the fact that, oh my God, she really believes that these things are real. When he found out, in fact, on his previous show that he did, I think I actually did a show about Bigfoot with you guys.
Yes, you
didn't
did. Yeah, on a formal
I did,
platform.
and he was so nice about it. Guys, he was so polite, even though I know the whole time he's like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
This woman's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But they humored me, and we did a whole show on Bigfoot, and I enjoyed the heck out of it. Can't say that he did, but I know I did. So, yeah, that's what started it for me. And then, like I said, you know, I've gotten him. In fact, one of our first phone conversations that wasn't, you know, via Facebook or, you know, a show. One of our first phone conversations, the first actually, started out with Bigfoot's not real. And I was like, oh, come on. And that was actually our first phone conversation.
Right.
So this has been an ongoing debate since we met.
Yep.
But now we can get into when he got down here and some of the odd things. There have been several now, so bear with us as we go through these and remember them.
Okay. Do you want me to take one?
Yes.
All right. So we don't normally give out our areas when we're doing Bigfoot research or Dog Command research.
No.
So we refer to them as Area 1, Area 2, so on and so forth. So this first area, Area 1, obviously, we go out there. It's pretty much, it is a public area, but the reason why we keep it kind of secret is because when we're doing our research, just like paranormal investigation, we don't want a lot of contamination. So Area 1, we walked out there, and it was just, we were actually going out there to do some paranormal investigating, kind of. And we walked out to this one area, we sat down, brought an EVP camera, the whole nine.
It was dark.
It was pitch dark.
Because we like to do, I don't know why. 10, why did we do that?
At night. I don't know, because we're crazy. So we get out there, and I carry a 9-inch blade on me because it's about the only thing I can carry right now.
The peepers in the background?
Yeah, the peepers in the background.
Oh, there are lots of them out there.
That microphone is sensitive, though.
It is.
So we get out there, and so we switched gears. We went from paranormal to Bigfoot. We didn't last too long in the paranormal. But so I took my blade out, and I said, I want to, if there's anything out here, I want to let you know I'm a friend. So I threw my knife down on the ground.
John really likes to talk to them out there when he gets out there. I think it makes him feel better.
So I threw the blade down in the ground and ignore what she said. And I backed away from it. So it was, it was quiet. And all of a sudden we started hearing tree breaking. Sounds of things running around us. And I couldn't see squat in the woods. It was pitch.
No. But, I mean, these sounds are not, so blatant.
No, very
that it's,
slight.
Freaks you out. And I'm, having a great old time sitting on the fireplace, just kind of vibing and meditating. And, yeah, it's late at night. It's dark as pitch out here, but it's okay. I'm chill. Everything's cool. He's a little more on edge and, listening, but we did hear we heard a couple of good breaks. Yeah, we really did.
There was a tree that it literally sounded like somebody cut it down, and it crack, 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 and it came right down. I was like, whoa. I mean, I know there's some old trees out here. It wasn't windy. They barely get any snow, so I took everything like that into consideration.
Yeah, we always do.
All right, it's getting late. It's about 11 o'clock. Let's get out of here.
I'm like, okay, let's go. So we
just talking and this, that, and the other thing. So we get down to this one area where there's a creek, and then it starts to go back up a hill again. So it's kind of like what they call a hollow.
Yeah, we're down in a holler.
Valley. We call it a valley in the north.
Baby valley.
Yeah.
Well, here it's a holler.
So we go over this river, man-made bridge, start going up, and we must have paused for a second. Or we were just walking.
I don't think we were walking, and we were talking about certain things.
And
because I'm always talking about when we're out there, I'm always talking about boogers and cryptids and things. So
we start walking, and all of a sudden, it's January. It's probably, maybe 40 degrees out at night? 30, 40?
It was November. Because on New Year's Day, remember Christmas Eve we went, yeah.
So it was about 40 degrees out.
Yeah, about 40.
And all of a sudden we hear this growl, the most guttural growl.
My God, you guys.
You could ever imagine. I felt it.
It was so,
but me spending enough time in the woods and hunting, now I don't know the Georgia woods, but I know what bears sound like. I know what coyotes sound like. I don't know what cougars sound like, but it wasn't a cougar.
Not that.
So we came back and I listened to, I tried to debunk it. I went on YouTube and listened to sounds of cougars, bears, coyotes. No. We don't have wolves down here.
No, we don't have wolves. That was not a coyote. This was
panthers.
This was way under
everything. So when that happened, she just said nope and kept walking.
Did not. He said, "Did you hear that?" I said, "Yep." He said,
I wonder what that was.
I said, "Nope," and I just no,
so
I'm done.
I had my infrared camera. It did not pick up the sound of the growl, which I thought was really weird because it was really loud.
It was loud. It could not have been more than, and we debated about this when we went back and actually looked at the area, but this growl could not have come from more than 20 yards behind us. Yeah. I really feel that way. And as soon as I heard it,
60 feet.
And yeah, and when I heard it, that was it. Like I felt it sent me into fight or flight mode, and fight was not an option for me, and it rattled me. It was I mean, the fact that too, when you're out there, you hear something, okay, if it's just you that heard it, you might be able to explain it away. That person didn't hear, okay, maybe I'm just hearing things, but the fact that we both heard it and we both backed it up at the same time, that's what really got me.
So immediately spotlights went on, infrared cameras on. I'm trying to look for this thing. We can't find it. We have no idea where it came from.
I'm leaving.
She's walking out of there.
I'm leaving.
Almost to a light jog. Both my ankles are bad from playing sports. I'm trying to hobble next to hers. I'm like, will you slow down? She's like, nope, I'm out of here. No. So the one thing I learned, and if you're going to encounter a creature this big, or any creature for that matter, even an animal, don't run. Because if you start running, they will chase you.
That's what I was thinking, so I walked.
If they chase you, you become dinner, lunch, breakfast, whatever.
I felt like dinner.
So walk, get out of there, move on. Evidently that growl was for a reason.
No.
So
I was heeding that growl, so yeah,
and then the car wasn't close.
It was not.
Half a mile. Half of that was uphill, and then the other half was all twists and turns.
Yeah, half mile doesn't seem like that, no. but when you're out in the middle of nowhere,
half mile is a crow flies.
Yeah, over terrain, around and through.
Yeah, I mean, you literally have to take a backpack with food and stuff with you because, when you go out there,
we always do anyway.
Yeah, we always do anyways, but it's crazy. So that was my first experience.
That was insane, y'all. That was pretty creepy. Hearing that it makes you wonder, what the heck am I doing? And it also makes you wonder, do I want to keep doing it? But if you're passionate enough about it, that's not going to stop you.
A lot of the things that we've experienced, though, and we're going to tell you, aren't in exact order because you can't remember them in exact order. I can remember them happening, but another time, I actually went out there by myself. I did something dumb, and I went out there by myself. We never do that. We always go in a pair, but I wanted to, it's for research, right? So I decided I was going to sacrifice myself to the gods, and I had gifted a candy bar when I went out there one time. So I wanted to see if it was still out there. So I walked all the way out there. It was almost dark, and I knew I had an hour in and out. I get all the way in, literally only had time just to see the candy bar, turn around and walked out. This is after the growl story we just told you.
Yeah.
So as I'm going out there, and I'm walking up this hill. Now, I am also taking into account there are rocks in the woods. The roads are gravel, okay? But I found it kind of interesting that I had a rock hit me in the ankle. There was nobody else out there. Nobody.
No, not at that time.
Not at the, it was almost dark.
Especially in the winter.
It was almost dark.
Yeah.
By 6 o'clock, it was dark. And I was just turning my flashlight on when I got about a quarter mile from the car. And I was just freaked out. I saw things cross. Now, low light can cause hallucinations. But when you see this massive shadow cross a path that you have to go down to get to your car, you kind of say it and then you do it. And I had to suck it up and put on my big girl panties and walk in that direction.
That's an oh shit moment.
Yeah, it was an oh shit moment because I didn't know what it was. again, my skeptical mind is going, was that just a shadow that I caused? Or, I don't know, dude. I didn't hear it, but man, I saw it.
How big was the rock?
It wasn't that big.
Is it pep stone?
It was probably bigger than a silver dollar.
Okay.
Maybe a silver dollar size.
See, that's pretty big, though.
Yeah, and it didn't hurt, but man, it hit me. And so I was just like, yeah, okay, I'm out of here. See you later.
Bye.
The other things that we used to do, too, I got a dirty habit of smoking cigars. I used to smoke a cigar every time I went out there, just put the smell in the air, let them know I was out there.
He has all these great theories on how to do this stuff.
So what I would do is, and it's worked.
It has worked.
In Area 1, I've taken a cigar, I've smoked it down halfway, and I just leave it on the stone burning. Walk out. We'd literally come back the next morning, completely gone, can't find it.
Candy bars are there, cigars are gone.
Candy bars are there, and the cigars are gone.
Bigfoot likes tobacco.
And we searched we moved leaves, we looked all over the place before we touched anything, we couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
And then how about the time we gifted some food?
Which one?
On the fireplace.
Yeah.
And they took the bag of peanuts, and now this fireplace has got to be at least 15 feet up.
Oh yeah, it is.
I'm only 5'11".
It's a fireplace, it's the bones of a fireplace from an old house.
Now, I also am taking into consideration that any critter could have climbed up there and dropped it there. But what a coincidence that this thing is 15 feet tall, and I find the bag back about 20 or 30 yards so I can look at the top of the chimney, and the bag is sitting on the very top of the chimney.
But why would a critter drop it?
Wait a second, it gets better. The bag was not chewed open, the bag was not torn, none of that. If something like a rodent or something really wanted what was in there that bad, they would have chewed a hole in it.
Well, not only that, they would have taken the bag and taken off to wherever safe spot they have and gotten into it
What
there.
human being can put something up there?
Somebody that climbed up
That's
there
what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Somebody must have had it. You don't want to climb on this thing. You really don't.
No, you don't.
You're gonna bust your ass.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. We also, good gosh, we went out when it snowed this past year. We went on in a new area. It was actually in Area 2. We went up the path, trying to get to remember? Yes. Now, not anything major went on. We went pretty far in. Yeah. We went about 3-4 miles in.
It was about a total of 3 miles, but a couple crazy things happened in there. We'll get to that in a minute.
They absolutely did. The one crazy thing that happened was I don't know. The prints for one thing. Where did the prints come from? The dog and the guy.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we go in
unrelated.
On the way out, I'm very observant, but when I'm in the woods, I was noticing turkey tracks and everything else because I'm an avid turkey hunter. And on the way in, I noticed this one area. I went, oh man, I wonder we were looking at it. We were like, I wonder what's down there. It was weird
because it's a path to nowhere.
Yeah, there's no tracks, no nothing. We couldn't figure it out. So we're like, all right, well, whatever. On the way back, we found human track and dog coming out of there.
Yeah, nothing going in, but they were coming out. And the snow had fallen the night before.
And as far as we knew, there was only one way in and one way out.
I don't know. Interesting.
It was kind of crazy.
Let's talk about the experience we had when we were coming out.
So that's right in the same area. So
yeah.
We were on our way out. I was wearing a GoPro, and we were looking at the
really
tracks,
weird, guys.
And all of a sudden, this one tree or something, we couldn't figure out what it was, started shaking. You could hear, what a tree sounds like when you shake it, like a young sapling. It's kind of what it sounded like.
But we didn't see it.
Right.
And then that weird sound. Almost that weird metallic sort of banging, thudding sound. Do you remember?
I'm trying to remember.
It was some sort of, I can't, I don't even know how to explain it. It was a weird metallic sort of sound, and it kept doing it, and you keep looking around to try to find the source with your eyes because it was really close to us, but you couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest sort of metallic sound. The only thing that I've found so far that I can correlate with it is on the Missing 411 Hunted movie that David Paulides put out, where an elderly man went missing in the woods with a hunting party of several other men. One of the men heard that day this weird metallic sound coming out of nowhere, out of the ground. And also, if you look at Skinwalker Ranch, again, the people who were doing research and conducting experiments and stuff there to kind of look into stuff, and the people that lived there before heard weird metallic sounds almost coming from the ground.
Right.
So those are the only two things that I've heard that are remotely near it. But it was weird. It was really like off the chart strange at how odd this sound was. But we couldn't figure it out. It was really strange. Is that the only experience we had there?
No, experience in Area 2 when we took the kids out to that waterfall, and on the way back. Yeah, now
that's an interesting one.
Oh, and then at the cave. That one was really cool, the one at the cave.
Oh, the knocking.
We're headed out, and I'll tell you the cave story. So we're headed out.
Which cave story?
Yeah, right. I think it's actually the same one.
I think it is too.
We're headed out to this cave.
Yeah, because I really wanted to go to this cave.
And I hate.
And we're not talking though.
I'm claustrophobic.
We actually have a video of it, so if any of you guys are interested in like seeing this 10-minute video of us in the cave, let us know. Hit us up.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Listener discretion is advised.
Listener, whatever.
Yeah.
So we're walking out, and all of a sudden we hear a clunk, clunk. Now I had a cold at the time, so I only heard the two loudest tree knocks I ever heard.
But I heard the rapid succession of like 5 after, like the doop 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 doop.
I couldn't hear it.
I heard that.
So we stopped. We listened. We weren't recording like total friggin' rookies.
Because we always do that.
It always happens that way.
Or even when we do record, it's not on there.
We do have audio of some other
weird
things.
stuff out of Area 1, actually. Yeah, so we heard that, and then we did find the cave.
So yeah, we go in the cave, and I think my exact words is I hated every fucking minute of this.
Yeah, that was it.
And she just kept pulling me deeper and deeper and deeper, and I started, oh my god, I hated every minute
There are
of it.
these big things on the ceiling and the walls.
Spider crickets.
Oh my gosh.
Camel crickets or spider crickets?
Either one, you take your pick. They are some nasty looking critters, and I hate them. But my curiosity.
She kept going.
You can ask him. It gets the better of me, and I don't think straight.
And then she wanted to cross this room that had a Olympic-sized swimming pool.
It was not that big.
It was to me, and
it was only about 10 feet across.
But
there was a board.
But there was a board. It was in water.
It was a puddle.
No. Look, listen, Lily and I, when we went out there the last time.
Look, I'm still trying to convince him to cross this. I'm still trying.
Don't listen to her. I am the voice of reason, okay?
I'm the voice of adventure and exploration.
So I wish I could mute her microphone, but we're both sharing one right now.
That's right. Don't forget that.
So we went out there, and she wanted to cross this little pond thing.
In the cave.
Yeah, in the cave. A little room with water in it. And when Lily and I went out there to explore it for a second time.
That bad?
We took a 10-foot stick and dropped it down there, and I couldn't touch bottom. No. I can swim, but no.
It's not that. As long as you can get across, you're good.
Next time we'll get a swan floaty and go across it, okay?
That would work. We could do that. We could just get a raft. Just go right across. I really want to get to the end of this
Next
cave.
week on the Cryptid Files. Okay.
It's not
How
that
we got
far.
hypothermia.
No, a cave is an ambient 60 degrees all year round.
Anyways, so
just remember that, folks.
We went looking
your
for that sound, couldn't find it, and then there was another time at the waterfall. We had tree knocks, whistles, or grunts, and rocks being thrown.
When we went to the waterfall, that was crazy because there was something. We heard several bangs, single knocks, couple of doubles. We did it back, and we got an immediate answer back.
And they would respond. It was actually kind of cool.
It was cool. And then we saw something. At least Lily saw something to our left, actually behind a clump of rhododendron. Probably 20.
That's when her and I were in front, and with both my ears clogged, I heard that.
Yeah, it was weird.
That's all I heard, and we both looked at each other, and she knew I heard it, and I knew she heard it.
That was Lily's turn to get scared and want to get out. She really wanted out, and we were really far from the car.
So the one thing I try to tell them when we're out in the woods is don't ever run. Like I just said before, don't run, because you will end up dinner or a snack, depending on how big the creature is. So I decided to take point, and because usually Lily's the point person, and I decided to take point at that time, and we walked in there, and we never saw anything. We only heard it though, but boy was it loud.
It was very interesting. So Matt, have you had any experiences of your own? That's what I'd like to know. If you're still listening, we'd love to hear.
Say no.
No, don't say no. Say yes. Don't listen to him. Listen to me. What would you rather be logical, or would you rather have adventures? Because, I'd rather have adventures.
No, adventures are cool. Adventures are definitely cool.
He does keep me grounded though, because I've.
Oh yeah, I do. I got that. He says he hasn't had any personally, but I got that leash, so to speak, when she starts floating away into the atmosphere. Like, wait a minute, come back down here.
Because I've always got all these great ideas. I really do. They're really great ideas.
I gotta grab her by the scruff and drag her out of there.
Because sometimes he does.
Yeah.
But it's so great. You're not gonna find them if you don't think outside the box.
So I think we had one question earlier, and I think we failed to answer it. And I think it was from Judy. She said, "Are these things? Are they nice, mean, or do they, or do they tend to shy away from people?"
Good question.
Yes.
Yes, and yes. I've researched this a lot. Researched many encounters, many sightings and experiences. There are accounts of them being, benevolent and helping people. And on the other side of the spectrum, there are accounts of these things being very aggressive, being violent, and even killing people.
They've actually eaten people.
I've heard more than one account of that.
Remember that one story we heard about the hiker, and he had food?
Yeah.
Went into his bag, ate the food. The Sasquatch charged him and bit off or ripped off his arm.
Yeah. And ate his arm, and then took off with his arm.
Yeah. Took off with his arm and whatever he had in the bag.
Mm-hmm. The whole, don't take the bag, take the whole damn arm.
Matt says, my grandfather used to tell stories about the wood devils in northern Maine.
Awesome. I love it. If you ever want to drop any of those stories to us, you can contact us on our email,
which
we would love for you to email, because we could even read some of these, guys, if you would allow it. And if you would like to be a part of it, we can read these on our show, which we would love to do, because we really do want to interact with you guys and have you participate in the show as well. The eyewitness accounts and stories, even if they're your grandparents' stories or a person that's all part of getting to the bottom of this.
Yep.
Because the more of these that you compile and put together, the more that you start to see similarities, and you can pick out these sort of earmarks of these beings and how they live and how they operate, how they interact with people. So we would love to hear that. The email, did you?
I just put it in chat.
All right, the email is in chat, guys. So
gacryptocrew@gmail.com for those people that are going to listen to this in the future. I'll spell it again. GACRYPTOCREW @gmail.com.
We'd love for you to email us. Like,
So,
the stories, we would love to hear them.
Stories, if you have any stories that you want to share.
Anything you want to share, guys. Any opinions you have about cryptids, what your viewpoints are. If you want to hear us talk about a certain cryptid, you guys message us and let us know. We'll do a spotlight of your favorite cryptid.
Yeah, we're not just going to sit here and talk about Bigfoot for the rest of our lives.
No.
We are going to get into discussions about
Look, there are so many more cryptids. There are so many more. And as much as I like to talk about them, and as much as I feel like I know, and as much as John's heard, there are so many more that I need to look into. And if anybody knows anything about cryptids, you know that they are all over the world. Even if they're of the same set, a humanoid, a hairy ape, or whatever, they go by different names all around the world. So we're really going to get into it and get into some of our favorite cryptids, which are, I have a couple of favorites so far. But we're getting to look into some things like the Wendigo, which is something I've known about for a long time, since I was a kid, and heard stories about Native American Wendigos up until recently, but I didn't know enough, I don't think. Of course, I don't think that there was enough information out there about them,
right,
for me to study.
Wendigos are mainly a spiritual aspect of it, or a some sort of demonic aspect of it. They're not so much a cryptid, but some people do consider them cryptids. As Matt say, cryptids. It's a giant rabbit hole. Yeah, exactly.
It is. Oh, absolutely, Matt.
You can fall down it easily watching.
About each individual cryptid, even, and some of the things that we have learned, some of the theories out there
about the Dover demon in Massachusetts,
right?
Which only lasted 2 weeks.
You think he was like the Pukwudgie's big brother?
Does the Pukwudgie have a big brother?
I don't know. I mean, I guess if he did, it would be the Dover demon. Yeah,
I guess so.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, and we're not just gonna talk about that. We're going to talk about everything, and probably some things that are gonna make your head spin, and you're going to.
You're gonna do a lot of scratching your head.
Yeah, I think so, because we're gonna get deep into this. We're just kind of skimming the surface tonight and giving you guys an idea of what we're doing and what we do on a daily basis, because I talk about this a lot and I research it a lot. I listen to podcasts a lot. I do all that stuff.
I come home from work, she's sleeping, listen to podcasts all the time.
Yeah, I do. I get bored.
Podcast.
Yeah, podcasts. Yeah, when
she gets listening to a podcast, she listens to a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things.
Well, I mean, if you're going to study it, you need to learn as much as you can and hear as many encounters as you possibly can. We're also working locally to collect encounters around us, not just of Bigfoot, because if you're going to mess with one cryptid, you need to be ready to mess with the others as well.
Yeah, because if you're going out looking for Bigfoot, there's a pretty good chance you're going to run into Dogman.
Well, I mean, you can't pick and choose.
No, you can't.
I mean, that's silly to think, okay, well, it's like being in the paranormal field. Okay, I want to mess with ghosts, but I don't want to mess with demons. Yeah. It's the same thing. Right. You can't just say, oh, I don't really want to research that one, so we're going to pretend like that one doesn't exist so that I don't have to deal with it. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Right.
So, we're actually doing research. We're field researching as well. So we're out there. Right. And we're doing things, and we're going to bring, whatever evidence we can get together, theories that we have, local theories. It's a vast, it's just a really vast subject, and there's a whole heck of a lot to talk about.
Right.
And we want to know what you guys want to hear. We want to know what you guys want to talk about. We do it. I'm planning on having guests on, doing interviews. Even people who have witness accounts, and like I said, we'd love to read some of your accounts if you don't want to.
Yeah, even if you don't want to be on.
Yeah, which would be great if you wanted to. But we want other people to know your experiences as well, because it really does help to share, I think. It helps to be in a community of people who you can speak freely about this with, and they're not going to look at you like you've got, a horn growing out of your head, which people do that to me anyway, because I'll talk about this with everybody. I don't care if you believe it or if you don't believe it. I'll still talk about it because it's an important thing, and I think it's an important thing we're doing. Not just for us, but again, for people who want to talk about it but can't. We are your spot to come and talk about it. We're not going to judge you. We're not going to look at you like, that didn't really happen. We want to hear it, no matter how crazy it is, because I've heard some extremely crazy stories about these things. And you can't discount stories just because it's so far-fetched.
Right.
We don't know that. We're going to treat every account like it's an actual account, and every person will be taken at face value for what they say. So you're not going to get judged. If you want to share it with us, we will be more than happy to talk about it.
Absolutely.
We would love it.
So you can drop it in our email at cryptid. Oh, geez, I'm screwing up this email. gacryptocrew@gmail.com. GARYPTOCREW@gmail.com.
Yes.
Feel free.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I think that we should talk about our little experience over at Track Rock.
Which time?
The last time, when we got it on. It's really crappy audio. We're working on the audio aspect of things as well right now. We have a parabolic that John actually put together, which is freaking awesome.
That's all right.
We really haven't had an opportunity to really check it out, but there's one place we like to go. And, would you call it Area 3?
It would. It's close to, hold on, I'm trying to get my directions here. Yeah, I would call it Area 3. If we
I think that we will refer to this as Area 3. Yeah. We've been out there a handful of times.
4 or 5 times, yeah.
And the odd thing is we've had some paranormal experiences out there as well. I don't think that's very odd, really. But, the interesting thing, I would say it's interesting. This place definitely has a vibe. It's just a burl. Okay. This place definitely has a vibe about it.
If you hear any chewing in the background, we have a little puppy, so that's what you're going to hear.
That's right. She's our first little squatching dog. She's adorable. But it's a really interesting place. It has its own energy.
Yeah.
And we go to areas that not a lot of people go to in this. We spent half a day on the mountain one day, off trail. Him and I just trudging up hills, and it was freaking amazing. It was magnificent.
The good thing about being out there, though, is you can't get lost.
Well, we can't get lost.
We can't get lost.
Yeah.
No. We know the area too well, and as long as you you keep a landmark, you won't get lost.
I want to know it better, though. But we've had odd experiences almost every time we've been out there.
Every time we've been out there.
And it's always, no matter what time of day, there's this owl. There are these owls out there that sound off. And it's...
At 3:30.
They do it. It's weird. It's really strange. But we were out there recently and walking out. We were not there doing research. We were out just to have
fun.
The kids out and, to go out and make a fire, have some coffee, just chill out and have fun. Just get out, get away and do a little grounding and just relaxing. And we're on our way out and we hear... at first I thought it was a man.
At first I thought it was the owls.
Then I thought it was a guy at first. Like some crazy mountain man yelling on the ridge that's, across from us. It sounded like it was up on the ridge, and it was this whoop. Howl, whoop, I don't...
It sounded more like, woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
But it was really loud and resounding, and we heard it.
Dude, I'll tell you from my perspective. I was in the back again. My ankles. I had injured myself, and I'm making this 2-3 mile trek into the woods. Round trip, and I'm the last one in line. I'm way back. I'm 20-30 yards back, and I heard woo like that, and it stopped me dead in my tracks. And I looked up,
Oh, it stopped us all dead in our tracks.
We all stopped.
Yeah. When we're out there, we are very aware of what's our surroundings, and we're always listening. We're always kind of on point. Even when we're just walking and talking with the kids, we're always aware. So any little sound, any little noise alerts us, and we stop. And we definitely stopped, and we heard it.
We stopped for a good, at least 2 minutes.
And we heard it maybe 2 more times.
I went, woo, back to it, and it was, 30 seconds went by, and then it did it, and then Lily did it. Did it several times to Lily, and it was going back and forth, but it wasn't an owl. It wasn't your normal owl.
It sounded too humanoid.
Yeah, it sounded too forced.
It was not a
Too
sound
loud
that
for
we
an
were
owl.
familiar with.
Too loud for an owl.
And this place has history.
Yeah.
This place has history of sightings, of encounters, of sounds, particularly sounds. It does have a history of that, not very far from the area we were in. It's a strange area. It's an interesting area, and it has a lot of history of all sorts of things.
Right.
So we had that encounter there. We actually had an encounter before there where we heard a howl.
Yeah, and we were walking in, it was you and me. We were up on the hill. I think it was our first time there.
Yeah, and of course I'm talking about cryptids as I'm walking in, and I started talking about Dogman, and all of a sudden
sounded humongous.
From across the road.
Yeah.
Long howl.
Oh
man, and that was like what, 10:30 in the morning?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And there's nothing on the other side of the road but more trail.
And mountain.
More mountain, more trail, more woods. So,
could it have been a dog? Yeah, but that's a big dog.
And it was not a coyote. It's definitely very too deep to be a coyote.
And not a wolf.
We don't have wolves.
No.
So, I don't know. Who knows? But that was another experience. We've yielded some good results at Track Rock. We just have to figure out how in the world to get it documented. Because let me tell you, everybody always wonders, well, why didn't you get a picture? Or why didn't you record this? When people talk about their experiences. Well, everybody has a camera handy. Why don't you just take it out? Audio and video on cameras is not reliable. And as much as because we have tried, trust me, we have been rolling when things happen. We actually go the extra mile to have audio or video.
Purpose. We strap voice recorders to everybody's got a voice recorder, put it on their backpack in their pocket, even though it's not the greatest idea, whatever the case may be.
But we still
don't get it.
We can't. We don't.
But we hear it louder than anything.
It's really odd. It's very frustrating.
Yeah.
Because when you're like, okay, we were rolling, we've got this, we've got to go back, and man, when you do get something, even if it's and 9 times out of 10 you do get something, and the quality of it is so crap that it's unreliable, or so a lot of these videos that people poo-poo and say, oh, that's not real, that doesn't look like what a Bigfoot would be. How do we know? A, and B, you can't blame the camera person. It's the videos and pictures that you have to look at that are too perfect are the ones that you have to wonder about when it looks like the shot is set up. But when you're talking about these back and forth, crazy videos where people are going, the camera's not stable. It's all over the place. The audio is not good because you're not expecting this stuff. And it's hard in a split second. Yeah, you can't. It's very, very difficult to do. So, take that into account when you're wondering, well, why haven't we gotten clear this or clear that? I mean, your average Joe doesn't walk around getting clear pictures of tigers either.
No.
Oh, God, why did I say tigers? I really shouldn't have brought that up. Not today. We're not going there.
Right.
It's not that easy. It's just not as easy as having a camera and getting your shot. It's just not that easy. These things are elusive, and it's got to be the perfect storm or a complete accident, which is why we do everything we can to be prepared. We actually have a camera in our car that's a forward and back facing camera, so we can get a view pretty good. Because how many reports are there of people being in their cars and encountering these things?
No idea.
when you look, I'd love to do like statistically go through and make a list of reports, even just locally, and see how many of them are people who were in a car. Because that seems to be, for some reason, that seems to be a big thing. So we got that covered. We come across old Bigfoot in the car, we're going to get it recorded.
Right.
We hope.
Hope. Keyword.
You never know. So, if you guys have any subjects about Bigfoot or any cryptids that you'd like to talk about, we are more than willing to talk about them, trust me.
Yep. We can even talk about, what kind of equipment and everything, which is more my forte anyways.
Yeah, it's really different. Yep. Do you find that there's a lot of difference between what we're doing and paranormal investigating?
Nope.
No?
None. No difference. Other than maybe doing it during the day.
Well, aren't you more focused on audio with, do you think you're more focused on audio with the cryptids?
No. It's the same.
Yeah.
It's about the same. I mean, some of the equipment might be a little bit different, but
environmentally, I think there's a lot of difference. Well,
yes,
of course, obviously.
Definitely there is a lot of difference.
I feel like the whole energy of it is different,
Yeah, a little bit.
And I feel like that, to me, doing, people think you can just kind of go from one to the other seamlessly, but it's a whole different ballgame when you're out in the woods at night than it is if you're in a building, like in a room or a house at night. Not to mention the elements always have to play a part, because you're going to run into a lot more contamination in the woods. So you're going to have to chuck a lot more of your possible evidence in the woods than you would in a home.
You're not going to sit in the woods going, me walking some more, me walking a mile.
No.
Me walking another quarter mile.
It's hard to have a controlled environment out there. I mean, it really is. And not to mention, I don't know. It's so different. It's a lot more, I feel like there's a greater chance of finding something paranormal than cryptid.
Right.
Obviously. So there's that frustration too, because that's pretty frustrating.
Yeah.
We were talking the other night about when we first started doing this, how I got frustrated really easily because we were going out so often and nothing. I mean, I'm upset at the fact that we haven't found a clear footprint. I mean, I'm really devastated. I thought by this point I was going to be so far into it and have so much evidence. I mean, I was really convinced, we're going to have a plaster cast. I don't have one yet. I don't have one. I don't know why.
Because we haven't found a footprint yet.
It just
something
seems,
that doesn't exist.
It just seems unfair to me. Everybody has a plaster cast but me.
Well, I think half those people make it up.
I want a real one though.
I bet you can go online and buy one off Amazon.
It's not the same if you don't get it yourself.
I bet you can go on Amazon or eBay somewhere and somebody.
That's like buying tomatoes from a vegetable stand instead of growing them in your own backyard.
Like I was saying, I bet you if you can go on Amazon or eBay and find a little thing that makes footprints in the ground, I bet you can.
I don't want one that way.
But
yes, you can.
Yes, that's
I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure you
one.
can. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of faked evidence, but
a lot, yes.
Yeah, but as much as there's faked evidence, good and well that some of this stuff cannot be explained. Are you going to go and buy a footprint on Amazon?
Matt says I've been searching for footprints since 1979.
Nothing. Isn't it frustrating, Matt? It's absolutely frustrating.
I'm not saying nothing, but what I am saying is there's more encounters and everything down here than there are up north. I don't care what that map says. I've lived in Massachusetts for how long? 40 years? Mm-hmm. All right. And in the time that I've been down here, which is almost a year, I've had more experiences.
Yeah. Matt, where are you from?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. So that's where you're kind of... You do your research and stuff. Have you been any other areas and done any researching, or just been out, trying to find things? because this is our focus. Although we do want to go to the LBL, land between the lakes.
Yep. Oh, which if I get my Georgia weapons carry license, I can carry in Tennessee.
Nice. So. What about Kentucky?
Yes.
Okay.
I
Good.
can go all the way up.
Good. Because then we could just That way we have protection when we go hunting for these mother. Mm-hmm.
So that should be another show that we do too.
Oh, on the LBL?
No. Oh. Well, yes, but what would you bring?
That's true.
Idea. What would you? Yeah, this is Vermont and Eastern New York.
Nice. Oh, upstate New York actually has some really interesting encounters with Sasquatch and some other things as well. We'll talk about it another time.
Yeah.
But that's a big debate too.
Yeah.
Whether or not to bring firearms when you're looking for Sasquatch.
A firearm.
I'm sorry. I feel like that you really need to. Not so much.
I am not worried about Sasquatch. I'm more worried about bear, cougars, mountain lions, whatever the hell you want to call them.
Mountain lion, cougar, puma, whatever.
Puma, panther, whatever the hell you
they're
want.
it's all the same thing.
Whatever.
Bobcats are different.
Yeah, whatever you want to call them. That's what I'm worried about. Because if I encounter at least a 7-foot Bigfoot, I'm dead. I'm dead.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I do.
It might be a nice one.
Listen, there is no bullet right now that is going to stop those things.
No, I don't think so.
No, especially if you run at center mass. It is not going to stop it. It's just going to piss it off.
Well, I mean, look at how fast these things are.
That's what I'm saying. They're like fucking Superman. Fucking bullets just
bounce
off them. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about bouncing off, but I mean, I don't know how much.
Saying.
They're thick-skinned. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I'm sure it's like better than hoghide.
Better what?
Better than hoghide. Thicker than a pigskin.
Yeah.
Man, those things are good.
Sorry, we got anything else we want to discuss?
I don't know. Do you guys have anything else you want to discuss?
Do we want to save it for another show?
Well, I mean, we've got many more shows to come.
Oh, yeah.
And we're excited. This was just the intro. This was our first night. And you just got a little taste of what we're doing. And we're going to be doing different things on different shows.
And stay tuned because there will be some debates. Trust me.
Oh, man. We got into one earlier about the Sierra Sounds, which we'll get into on another show, too.
Yeah. We got plenty of shows to talk about all this stuff, so... All right, well, if nobody has anything else, and, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Oh, thank you, Matt. Thank you. We hope you join us again and share this with everybody because that would be awesome. They're only going to get better from here. This was our first show. We enjoyed it. I especially enjoyed it because this is my favorite subject ever. And stay tuned and guys, get in touch with us. Also, if you want to find more out about us and if you want to see some more of the things that we post, go to our Facebook page, which is Unexplained Georgia.
Unexplained
Paranormal Georgia. Don't forget the paranormal. And we will post some different things, maybe pictures of some of the areas we go to and maybe a few funny videos that you might be able to find on there. And just check us out and share this. We definitely want to see you guys in the future. It's going to be a lot more interactive. So.
All right. We'll catch you guys later.
And just remember, guys, absence of proof is not proof of absence.